the people standpoint, is not to give people equality and not to make sure everybody receives an equal result. It's to grab power, redistribution, government dependence. If you reduce what people have, what individuals have, they can't provide people jobs. They can't provide for safety nets. They can't give to charities. If you redistribute to the point where the standard of living declines, more people become dependent on the government. And when more people become dependent on the government, they will vote a certain way to ensure that their standard of living that they have continues. That's why people praised Chavez, because they didn't know better, because they had become dependent. And that is what this administration is pushing us towards. The Founding Fathers did not say that everybody would get an equal result. They said that everybody would get an equal opportunity. And that's what we have lost focus of. Recently, Dennis Miller, well, not so recently, I guess, but back in August, thereabouts, 2012, I think, he was on Jay Leno. And Dennis Miller, love him or hate him, makes some good points in this. And I think it sums up how not only I feel, but maybe how you feel and many people feel. So let's take a listen to this. It's Seymour.
How about let's talk about President Obama?
Well, listen, Jay, there's certain things I like about Obama. You know, he's kept Gitmo open. He's kept the Patriot Act. He'll smoke a terrorist like that. You know, he killed that Alawaki guy who was an American citizen. They just blew his head off with a drone. Now, I think back to when we had Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and Gitmo, and they wanted to bring him back to New York. He wasn't even a citizen. Put him on Judge Judy, and, you know, everybody was into that. Now we're just killing citizens from space. I dig that. And by the way, we should hold a seance and call Alawaki back and ask him if he would have preferred to be waterboarded or smoked by the drone. I'm thinking he might have picked waterboarding at that point. But Jay, here's what I'm saying. I don't dislike President Obama. I just think that it's been an inept 4 years, and, you know, I'm just calling it as I see it. I know you like him. What am I missing over the last 4 years? It just does not seem that good to me.
I think he has compassion for regular people. Because I think Romney is a good guy and a decent man. I just think he had to go all the way right, which I think will ultimately hurt him in the long run.
And you don't think this cat right now is all the way left? Do you think everybody out there who is not doing well in life has been screwed by life, or do you think some of them are idiots? You know, I want to help the helpless, but I don't give a rat's ass about the clueless anymore, Jay. You know, this country's in trouble. We got to start isolating those two things. If somebody doesn't want to get it together and they want to get loaded all day, I'm sorry, I don't have anything left in the tank. I see enough authentic heartbreaks in the world that I'm not going to give it up for some loser who doesn't want to bust his ass. Well, at some point, the life is this... That's just common sense.
I understand. But I don't think...
You're the hardest working man I know, for God's sake.
But you know something? But I know people who work just as hard as I do and can't get a break.
All right, and I know some people who are gaming it, too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different stories in life, Jay.
But I think it's a matter of just having compassion for that person that's down and out.
I look at Romney and Ryan and think they're compassionate men. And I think at some point, to never have any expectation over somebody who's gaming it, I don't think that's a compassionate gesture. I think that's a naive one. And I think that's where I differentiate from Obama. I want to help the helpless. I don't care about the clueless anymore.
And there lies the primary difference. The believers in the utopia. The fact that someday, or the vision that someday we can all run through fields of golden wheat. Food will be in abundance. Everything will be free. We will all be happy. Nobody will ever commit a violent act. The birds will be singing 365. The air will always be calm. We will be free and happy. No more tyranny. No more religions getting in the way of things. We'll all just coexist, as that pathetic bumper sticker says. Wake the hell up. You people are frickin' crazy. We are humans. It's called animal instinct. We are, in our existence, 0.2% of our time on this planet have we had cultural bounds. 0.2%. Greed, power, not going to go anywhere. The lust for power, not going anywhere. The utopia cannot, will not, ever exist. Sorry, folks. Socialism, for that very reason, will never work. You will run out of other people's money, as Margaret Thatcher said. She did not attempt to outlaw gays, by the way, like the left says. So then, let's go down the list a little bit more. So far, we've talked about socialized medicine, First, Second Amendment, redistribution of wealth, increasing government dependence to reliable votes. We could also link that immigration stance, amnesty, bring that voting bloc in. Let's talk about controlling industry. Let's just lie about climate change, even though the number of scientists who disagree with the whole concept of global warming is equal to or exceeds the number who push the agenda. The ones who push the agenda simply get more exposure. Chief meteorologists, former chief meteorologists, all talk about cyclical nature of weather. What happened all those years ago to cause all the violent storms, continental drift, la-ti-da-ti-da, everything? I don't think there was a factory spitting out smoke back then. Now, don't get me wrong. I think we should be responsible stewards of the globe. But if you don't see that this issue is being used for political gain, all you have to do is look to Al Jazeera Gore and look to his sale of his TV station, his building a mansion on the California coast, which he says is about to slide into the ocean. That doesn't make sense. It's $35 million is a lot of money to have it slide into the ocean. Anyway, the whole power grab attempt there is to control the energy sector. And thankfully, we've had some ability to curb that. We still have a radical EPA. We have, again, crisis and power grabs. Crisis example for this segment. Crisis example is the oil spill in the Gulf. It was environmental groups who pushed the platform out from 500 feet of water to 5,000 feet of water. It was President Obama who waited over 70 days to allow skimmers and other cleaning ships and crews from other countries to assist because he would not temporarily suspend the Jones Act, in which only unionized employees could address the issue, which they couldn't handle. So we have the control over industry, the attempt. We have tons of money going into groups like Solyndra or businesses like Solyndra who happen to be Obama bundlers. We have GM, the bailout, appointing a new CEO. Since when did the president ever have the power to do that? And you don't think we're on the road towards socialism? But the most frightening of all of it is the fact that the government seems to think it no longer answers to the people. How have they accomplished this? Final thoughts coming right up.
This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce from the Views Express. Come join me Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on Spreaker.com.
Hey, BK, what's the think tank all about?
Oh, we're going to be talking about news and current events and politics, and, you know, our main goal is to also make it funny.
Funny?
Yeah, funny, yeah. As a matter of fact, if you haven't pissed your pants by the end of the show, we haven't done our job. The Think Tank, Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Central Time on Spreaker.com.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
And will to the best.
Hey, everybody, that is Barack Obama taking the oath of office. This is Jeff Wagner of the Conservative Voice on the Conservative Radio Network on Spreaker.com. If you think that oath of office should sound something more like this.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
the Constitution of the United States.
Then join me on the Conservative Voice, the Conservative Radio Network, Spreaker.com.
Government handouts, the progressives' Viagra. The only thing free here is the truth. You're listening to the Conservative Radio Network.
Jeff Wagner back on the Conservative Voice, the Conservative Radio Network, logic over emotion, fact over fiction, the home of independent conservative thought. Glad you're with me. Hey, you can send me your comments and rants and raves or whatever you want, insults to thecrn@hotmail.com. That's thecrn@hotmail.com. You can always find our most recent shows on conservativeradionetwork.org. And check out that webpage. You can also find some video links on there, and check out some of the things that we highlight on the shows. Say, I wish these shows could be more frequent. I have obviously some, I do have a full-time job, as I mentioned, but I do this as frequently as I can, and I think it's important not to tell you what to think, but to share how I think. And it just gives me a voice, and it makes me feel better, to be honest with you. I recommend, if you have a chance, to take a look at Spreaker, maybe make your own voice heard, do some shows, whatever. It's fun. It's a fun hobby. You can check it out, and you can do it for up to, I think, a half an hour free, or you can get a broadcaster package like I have. But I do enjoy bringing this to you. I also have, you can access me through Skype, and that is _CRN. That is my Skype name. And when I'm doing a show, and if you would like to get on board with me and maybe have a conversation, that is how you can do it. So I mentioned, talking about some closing thoughts on these issues that we've talked about so far. And one of the things that I wanted to kind of wrap together was this whole concept again of socialism and the march towards socialism. You look at the history of Barack Obama, you look at his upbringing, you look at his heroes, his mentors, if you will. All of them had more of a Marxist, well, not more of, were Marxists. He talks about aligning himself with radicals in college. He attended socialism events or socialistic events, I believe 4 times that we know of, and not only attended them but spoke at them. Rallies in the streets, if you will, of Philadelphia. And I think Breitbart was about to expose a lot more than that, but unfortunately, conveniently, he's not around anymore.